enjoy seeing you next time here on The Chase Australia.
Tonight, a killer father handed one of the longest murder sentences in South Australian history. Also, 3 people escape a car inferno as a warning goes out to motorists making an Easter exodus. The alarming amount of police property lost or stolen, a 7 News investigation. The so-called racist royal revealed, a UK socialite's bombshell claims. SA to host some of the world's best women's soccer players, but what has to happen first? And the Crows receive a backline boost ahead of tomorrow night's Suns clash.
Live from Adelaide, 7 News with Jane Doyle.
Good evening. One of the longest murder sentences in South Australian history has been handed to a father who gunned down his own son and the teenager's girlfriend. The cold-blooded killer didn't react, but friends of the much-loved couple did, hurling abuse as he was led away to serve more than 3 decades behind bars.
Łukasz Klazowski and Chelsea Ireland, just 19, kind, caring, full of life, cut down in their prime by, of all people, Łukasz's father, Paul Klazowski, leaving 2 families inconsolable.
They were just beautiful kids. They were loving, happy, so smart, but they were so good together.
We'll never understand why this happened, and we'll spend the rest of our lives grieving and asking why.
The why is unfathomable. Heavily intoxicated, extremely agitated and angry, Klazowski hunted down the young couple and shot them at close range. It followed an argument at his Mount McIntyre property last September where Chelsea was heard to tell him, "Stop, stop, this is your son." Klazowski pushed past his wife and loaded the gun. She told her 2 young children to get out of the house and hide. Klazowski shot his son first, once in the chest, then went after Chelsea as she cowered in the locked bathroom, calling 000. During the highly charged and emotional hearing, Łukasz's mother was so distraught at hearing how her son had died, she left the courtroom in tears. The judge told Klazowski the murders were deliberate and purposeful, her voice at times wavering as she said, "The anguish and heart-wrenching pain your offending has wrought is profound." There was no reaction from the killer, not even when he was condemned to 34 years behind bars. It would have been 40 had he not pleaded guilty early. The sentence, which will confine him to 4 walls until he's 80, is one of the longest in South Australian history, behind triple murderers Stephen Peat and Jason Downey and the Snowtown killers.
We've all got life sentences.
We just want them back and nothing will ever change that.
Deanna Williams, 7 News.
To a developing story, and a South Australian teacher's been arrested for having a sexual relationship with a child. Elspeth Hussey's live with the details. Elle?
Jane, this is an arrest that sent shockwaves across the Yorke Peninsula. 28-year-old English teacher Thomas Ackland has been arrested for making a child amenable to sexual activity and maintaining an unlawful sexual relationship with a child. Police pounced on Monday following a lengthy investigation into the Kadina Memorial School worker. In a letter to the community, the principal said he understands the arrest is distressing and that anyone who has concerns about the safety and welfare of their children should make contact. Police too want parents or students who know anything that could help the investigation to come forward. Ackland has been released on bail to live at a home at Moonta Bay, but has been banned from going anywhere near the Kadina school pending the outcome of the investigation and court case. He'll return to court in September. Jane.
Thanks, Elle. Those keeping their fingers crossed a last-minute trip to Brisbane for the Easter break could still be on the cards have had their hopes dashed. Live to Elise Baker. And Elise, the hard border in South Australia is staying in place.
It is, Jane. The Transition Committee called a snap meeting this afternoon to discuss our restrictions with Queensland and decided there would be no changes to our cross-border arrangements based on the health advice. The meeting was in response to this morning's announcement that Brisbane would be ending its lockdown at midday today. It means those from the Greater Brisbane area are still banned from entering SA unless you're a returning resident, essential worker or permanently relocating here. In those instances, you'll need to get tested and self-isolate. It comes as we recorded one new COVID case in SA today, a child who arrived from overseas. He's been transferred to our dedicated facility, Tom's Court Hotel. The situation interstate will be monitored over the long weekend and the Transition Committee will meet again on Tuesday. Jane.
Thanks, Elise. 3 people escaped without injury after their car burst into flames at Wollonga Hill this afternoon. Motorists captured video of the Holden Commodore engulfed on Victor Harbour Road just after midday. Fire crews were able to extinguish the blaze, but not before it destroyed the car and spread to more than 30 square metres of grassland. Thousands are hitting the road, heading out of town for the annual Easter exodus, and police are out in force too. Straight to Lauren Rose on the freeway, and officers are targeting long-haul drivers.
Yes, Jane, there will be a large police presence on major routes out of the city. It's been year after year of tragedy at Easter time. In fact, we haven't had a fatality-free holiday since 2017. Police say driver distraction has been the #1 factor in these tragedies, and they have risk takers firmly in their sights.
To make sure that people are safe on our roads travelling to their holiday locations. We'll also be there to enforce the law and make sure that those that aren't doing the right thing are held accountable for their actions.
This weekend's operation runs alongside the Drink Driver Selfish Prick campaign, but the message isn't getting through to some. A 37-year-old driver blew double the legal blood alcohol limit after crashing into a Stobie pole at St Maurice overnight. We can also show you this new advertisement from the RAA before it's screened tomorrow night at Adelaide Oval. It shows names fading from street signs with the words, "Too many people have been taken from our roads." 32 lives have been lost on our roads in the first 3 months of this year. It is the worst start to a year in a decade. Jane?
Thanks, Lauren. And families have headed to the shops in droves too to buy essentials ahead of the long weekend. Amelia's at the Central Market tonight, and Amelia's seafood's been the order of the day.
Oh, Jane, it's hot property, of course, ahead of Good Friday. All up, the market expects to sell 12,000 oysters in the lead up to Easter, 4 tonnes of prawns. It's trading till 7 p.m. tonight, but some stalls have already sold out early. Hot cross buns are hard to find, and the ones baked late today were going to those who'd pre-ordered them. Traders say they're doing a bit better this Easter than usual, as many choose to stay local and shop local over the long weekend.
Mainly looking for fruit and veg and fish.
We've sold heaps of snappers today, been scaling cleaning them all day for the customers. Lots of garfish, King George whiting, Atlantic salmon, barramundi, everything. Just everything's been going out. Prawns, people are going to eat a lot of seafood this Easter.
Weather-wise, it's shaping up to be warm and dry. Up to 33 tomorrow for Good Friday, 32 Saturday, a top of 28s in store Easter Sunday, which also marks the end to daylight saving. And with a warm weekend ahead, fire danger is expected in some regions. I'll have the details on that a little later in the forecast, Jane.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Amelia. Police have dropped assault charges against a Good Samaritan who tried to stop a man firing shots in the main street of Strathalbyn. Cafe owner Morris Behan was arrested after he tackled the gunman to the ground. But it turns out the culprit was an exterminator shooting pigeons perched on the roof of the local shopping centre. More than 500 emergency service workers rallied through the city today as the ambulance union ramped up its campaign for more resources. Many undeterred by threats to dock their pay if they protested in work time.
Ambos take their protest to the heart of the city.
What do we want? More funding! When do we want it? Now!
Hundreds of union members, not just paramedics, came together in a call to arms for a service they say is at breaking point.
We're here to help people and we haven't got enough people to do that, and it's really upsetting for everybody.
I have anxiety coming to work and unbearably high levels of stress. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, and I feel lost and alone.
Flooding King William Street, they're calling for a fix to an understaffed and under-resourced service.
This is all about saving lives and easing suffering. That's all it's about.
But the state government standing by its offer of an extra 50 ambulance officers.
Now, the union warns this rally will be the first of many until a mutually acceptable agreement is made.
Government can do one thing. Do one thing to stop us doing that. Provide enough funding so the ambulance service is safe.
Some of those protesting today paid a price. They were warned that rallying during work hours would cost them wages.
The number of calls that I got this morning where people said they'd got the messages but they were going to defy it and come because they believe in what we're doing.
Mediation talks will resume next week. Casey Trelaw, 7 News.
It'll be the biggest sporting event on Australian shores since the Olympics, and Adelaide will be in the thick of it. Hindmarsh Stadium will host Women's World Cup matches in 2023. A win for the state that's even forced the Premier to change his tune.
Celebrating a perfect pitch.
We love the round ball game here in South Australia, and this is just going to take our crazy obsession with this game to the next level.
The Premier seemingly now a soccer convert after red carding the World Cup bid 2 years ago.
We looked at it very carefully, but in this instance we weren't prepared to make that investment.
They are now. It'll take $45 million to get Hindmarsh up to world standard. There will be new change rooms, a new pitch, shade on the eastern grandstand and capacity expanded to fit 22,000 fans.
This decision by FIFA has really inspired us to make sure that we can get all of our new facilities in place and ready for the Women's World Cup in 2023, and I think the spectators are going to love it.
You will see the world's best footballers playing right here at Hindmarsh Stadium, right here in your own backyard.
Other matches will be played in Perth, Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane, Auckland, Hamilton, Wellington and Dunedin. As host nation, the Matildas get automatic entry, but the fixture won't be settled until later this year. And hosting these matches isn't just a win for sports fans. With millions of eyes watching these matches worldwide, it's set to put our state in the global spotlight and give our stars of the future something to aim for.
If an Australia game is played here, it would be even more special.
It's going to inspire the next generation of girls and boys.
Tim Hatfield, 7 News.
Police are investigating what started a car fire at Enfield overnight. Emergency crews were called to Pulterwilter Avenue and quickly extinguished the blaze. Police are trying to find the owner of the vehicle. It hasn't been reported stolen. An Olympian and his brother have been found guilty of attempting to smuggle 650 kilograms of cocaine into Australia. Nathan and Drew Bagley had nothing to say after they were convicted of the 2018 crime. The jury delivered its verdict after deliberating for more than 8 hours. The Prime Minister's being warned more women and children will lose their lives without greater support for victims of family and domestic violence. He's being urged to adopt all 88 recommendations from a parliamentary inquiry and to hold offenders to account.
One woman dies at the hands of an abusive partner every 8 days and a child every 2 weeks.
A problem that we as all Australians should be quite frankly ashamed of.
An 8-month inquiry by Parliament's Social Policy Committee has produced a bipartisan strategy. Its main recommendations: increase funding for frontline support services, a universal definition of sexual and domestic violence across all states, publishing a national domestic violence death toll, appointing a national commissioner for women and an education program to drive cultural change.
We've got to stop it at the start.
Advocates say bolstering services to protect women at risk is the most urgent priority, and that will come at a price.
We would like to see an investment of at least $12 billion over 12 years. Stop!
The report concedes the current $3 billion 10-year national campaign has failed to bring down domestic violence rates.
Stop!
Labor supports the recommendations but say they set a political challenge for Scott Morrison and his freshly reshuffled cabinet.
This presents the first real test for the Prime Minister and the task force he has established to address women's concerns.
Mark Riley, 7 News.
A child is one of 4 people killed in America's latest mass shooting. A gunman opened fire inside a business complex in Orange, California. A 5th person was also wounded. The suspect was shot by police and taken to hospital. No motive has been established. It's the third mass shooting in the US in 2 weeks. A UK socialite has made the bombshell claim that Princess Anne is the royal accused of racism by Harry and Meghan. In a scathing podcast, it was revealed there was more to the story.
It's been a worldwide guessing game since the bombshell Oprah interview.
Conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
Now UK socialite Lady Colin Campbell has let the cat out of the bag, pointing the finger at the Queen's daughter, Princess Anne, but claiming it's all a right royal misunderstanding.
The person actually said nothing about Meghan's complexion, nothing about the colour of the baby's skin.
Lady Colin Campbell claims not only were the comments made before Meghan became pregnant, but before she and Harry were married.
Princess Anne was rightly concerned that if the marriage proceeded and there were children, there would be huge problems, not because of Meghan's colour, but because of Meghan's inability and determination to remain unable to appreciate the cultural differences.
The socialite declined to reveal her source.
It hasn't been verified and nobody's commented on it, but it seemed that she had quite a lot of detail.
She saw trouble coming. And I have to tell you, wasn't she right?
Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
Time now to check with Soda what's coming up in sport.
Oh, Jane, plenty going on in the footy world. Now, we're going to cross the West Lakes and the parade tonight. While some of the Crows, well, they've been boosted with some defensive reinforcements for tomorrow night's Good Friday clash with the Suns. And one of SA's greatest quicks of all time calls time on his career. But he has one last chance to terrorise the Vicks this weekend. So well done to him. We'll tell you more about that shortly.
And I reckon he'll look forward to that too.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Soda. Stolen from the police or simply lost by them. The dangers you face if it falls into the wrong hands. That story's next. Also, why Donald Trump's latest interview has been banned from social media. More heartbreaking testimony from witnesses to George Floyd's death. And later, big changes to household credit with the COVID home loan holiday over.
7 News brought to you by Industry Super Funds.
Police can't help themselves. My super doesn't work out for me. I'll be working forever.
Well, we've worked all our lives for this place. We'd hate to have to sell it to fund our retirement.
That's for sure.
Authorised by B. Dean for Industry Super Australia, Melbourne.
In the stark and rugged lands of Australia's north, a sudden rash of random murders, police realised that they're hunting a serial killer, the Kimberley Killer.
The extraordinary manhunt across the outback.
Desperate police chase.
He's very much determined to kill one of us.
And the heroic investigation that stopped a madman.
Will be nothing short of explosive.
New Crime Investigation Australia, Most Infamous, Sunday on 7.
Jump into Easter and get your barbecue sizzling with Woolworths responsibly sourced seafood, like Tasmanian Atlantic salmon, barramundi and Aussie tiger prawns to help support the future of Australian seafood.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Yeah, call me selfish. I goes to my mates because they'll try and stop me. I don't care my missus got to drive me around if I get caught. I don't care if I knock a random off his bike. Some ambo might have to mop me up, and my mum might have to identify my body. I drive after drinking. Yeah, I'm a selfish prick.
We've turned Mondays into something to make a song and dance about. With Meerkat Mondays! Now you can win prizes every week with Compare the Market. So please download the Symbols app.
exceedingly good cakes.
We started with the Ryobi pole pin, and then we ended up measuring the pieces and cutting them into size.
Epic Treehouse, made by One Plus Ben and Kin. Make your long weekend. Garden kits $149 each, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Ryobi.
Get your Woolies worth for Easter with hot cross bun varieties 6 to 9 pack. Any 2 for $6. Save $1. Excludes brioche buns.
That's why I pick Woolies.
A 7 News investigation's uncovered an alarming amount of police equipment that's been lost or stolen. Everything from handcuffs to police badges and computers has disappeared, sparking security fears if these items end up in the wrong hands.
Handcuffs, access cards, video recorders and even police uniforms are among dozens of items belonging to SAPOL that have gone missing or been stolen in the past year.
Police obviously carry with them both sensitive information and prohibited weapons.
Of most concern is the disappearance of 3 police identification badges and 2 access cards. An officer has to carry ID with them at all times, even when off duty.
There's been cases where false police identification badges have been used to pull over and chat up girls.
In 2019, Samuel Narraway and another man were jailed after allegedly pulling over unsuspecting victims and fining them while in possession of badges, handcuffs and batons. Much of this missing equipment isn't cheap to replace. A $3,000 mobile tablet was never found, along with a body camera priced at almost $1,000. This $5,000 bike was stolen in the city. It's just one of 3 items recovered in 2020, including this hammer and PVC pipe in Coober Pedy. And there can be consequences for police who lose valuable equipment.
They can be breached, either disciplined internally or actually charged under the Police Regulations Act.
To combat any security breaches, police say items like access cards and mobile tablets that contain highly sensitive information can be deactivated if they go missing. Anyone who finds a police ID or specialised equipment is urged to hand it into their local police station immediately. Casey Trelaw, 7 News.
Overseas now, Donald Trump has once again been pulled from social media sites in a move critics have slammed as censorship. An interview with the former US president was banned from Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, but Mr Trump says he has other plans for getting his messages across.
Back on camera for the first time since his historic first-term defeat, but still refusing to accept reality.
It was a hoax. The whole thing was a hoax.
An 18-minute interview with his daughter-in-law quickly pulled by social media giants, Facebook and Instagram erasing the link from its platforms in line, it says, with the block on the former president's social accounts. The ban implemented after the January riots, and while Donald Trump again hinted at launching his own social platform, in the meantime,
I'm getting word out by using press releases. I put it out by a press release and everybody's picking it up. It's more elegant.
But still no press release confirming his immediate future.
Do we have hope that there's a possibility to see Donald Trump run again in 2024?
You do have hope.
That could mean a rematch with Joe Biden, who today avoided another stair slip, albeit in difficult conditions, on his way to launch a $3 trillion infrastructure and job spend.
It's time to build our economy from the bottom up and from the middle out, not the top down.
Hiking federal taxes to revitalise America's ageing infrastructure and lift the country's post-pandemic economic fortunes. In the United States, David Woywood, 7 News.
Confronting body cam vision revealing the deadly encounter between George Floyd and police has been publicly released. Played during the officer's murder trial, the video shows Mr Floyd distressed and sobbing as police become increasingly aggressive.
I'm not a bad guy, man. In the car. I'm not a bad guy. I can't breathe. Please.
It was an emotional third day in court, with another traumatised witness breaking down in the stand and struggling to finish his testimony. Horrifying video shows children being abandoned by smugglers at the US-Mexico border. The toddler and her 5-year-old sister were dropped over a 5-metre barrier and left for dead. They were later found by Border Patrol agents and taken to hospital, where they've been cleared of serious injury. A gender reveal stunt in Mexico has ended in tragedy. 2 pilots were killed when their plane, displaying an "It's a Girl" banner, plunged into the sea. Screams of excitement quickly turned to horror when the family watching realised the engine was failing. Lava spewing from a volcano is sparking wildfires in Guatemala. The crater's been erupting frequently, shooting columns of ash and smoke into the air. Rivers of lava are flowing as far as 3 kilometres away, burning through grass and threatening homes. Byron Bay is effectively under a self-imposed lockdown. Normally bustling at Easter, the tourist hub is empty. That's next. Later, cut-price flights take off, but airline workers are crying foul. The home loan holiday is officially over, what it means for your financial future. And high praise, the Queen pays tribute to the Royal Australian Air Force.
Your Easter weekend is about to kick off. Get ready for Seven's Easter Footy Fest.
Nice!
Tonight, Lions and Magpies in a battle to keep their seasons on track. Then Good Friday Footy returns with a Sandful AFL double. Eagles and Sturt, then Crows and Suns. Saturday night footy is a blockbuster in the West when the Eagles host the Power. All leading to the Easter Monday Classic, Cats versus Hawks. And with the AFLW finals all weekend, there's only one place to be. Seven's Easter Footy Fest starts tonight, live and free on 7.
Super Cheap Autos Club Day with 30% off everything store-wide starts online tomorrow. That's right, 30% off everything for Club Plus members. Not a member? It's easy to sign up today. On sale online tomorrow, in-store and online Saturday.
Everything auto, much more.
Are you looking for a sea change? Or perhaps a tree change? Or just looking to downsize and enjoy a maintenance-free retirement lifestyle? At Southern Cross Care, we offer a wide range of retirement living communities at locations and prices to suit you. From luxury apartments and beautiful villas to affordable units, you'll be part of a welcoming community and enjoy a wide range of activities and services in your new home. For better retirement living, visit Southern Cross Care today.
Yeah, call me selfish. I drive home after drinking. Because I drive carefully and don't attract attention. Because I can handle the booze and not hit anyone. Because I don't want to waste money on a cab. I just can't be bothered going back for my car in the morning. I drive after drinking. Yeah, I'm a selfish prick.
Now at Harvey Norman, get 5% back in Harvey Norman gift cards on selected cooking appliances. SodaStream Jet Drink Maker, only $49. That's 25% off. Keep your air clean all year round with the Dyson Pure Hot and Cool Fan Heater, $799. This Samsung French door fridge, exclusive deal, just $2,199. LG King Size 65-inch Cinema Series OLED Smart TV, save $650. Plus, get 60 months interest-free with bonus gift card. Now at Harvey Norman.
Go! I'll have a strong, smooth, creamy latte.
Be your own barista at Coles Express. With award-winning Coles Urban Coffee Culture from just $1.
Express yourself
at Coles Express.
It's on. Now get game ready at Sports Power. Choose from all the big brands for boots, balls and protective gear. Adidas, Nike, Asics and Puma, Sharon and Steeden. And stay protected from head to toe. Find your local expert at sportspower.com.au.
Sports Power!
Oh. Did you know you can use the Amcal app to order prescriptions? And even get them delivered? Soup? Just ask Amcal. Choo-choo!
The Commonwealth Bank's in trouble for charging a monthly fee to customers who should have been exempt. Corporate regulator ASIC is suing the bank in the federal court for misleading conduct. $66.5 million was charged between 2010 and 2019. The banks refunded nearly all of that money to close to 1 million customers, but could still face a hefty penalty. Police have cleared federal Liberal MP Andrew Laming of upskirting allegations. He'd been accused of taking, then deleting, a photo of a 29-year-old woman bending over in Brisbane in 2019. Queensland Police say they've interviewed a number of people and found no evidence that a criminal offence was committed. Bands, fans and businesses are furious at the cancellation of the 5-day Byron Bay Blues Fest extravaganza. It's cost them an estimated $10 million, and they say the COVID shutdown is totally unnecessary.
It was championed as the event that would return large-scale music festivals to Australia, but there will be no bums on seats.
For our industry, everybody was hoping somebody somewhere in the world will be able to put on a major event.
Their COVID safety plan
Was as good as the best they've seen.
Still not good enough. One case of COVID in the Byron community shut down the 5-day festival less than 24 hours before the gates would have opened.
Yes, the festival going ahead would have been great, but it's just a postponement as far as I'm concerned.
I can't easily see people going ahead with events in the near future until there's more surety, until we can safely feel we can put them on.
Unable to get pandemic insurance, the festival has copped a $10 million loss. The industry calling out for government assistance similar to funding provided to the film industry.
There are other countries, Germany for example, invested €2.5 billion.
Some would-be festival guests turned around at the gate, headed for town.
It's all changed, but we're staying on to support Byron because we love the town.
Many adjusting to the newly imposed restrictions, some taking it further than advised. Takeaway only here, others closing completely for the 4-day break. Earlier in the pandemic, when other states shut their borders, Byron Bay was a winner, with many New South Wales residents choosing to holiday here. And although this time around the region will take a hit, it's unlikely the government will hand out assistance.
But the good news is they all remain open.
To reflect on what could have been an Easter nest egg. Miley Hogan, 7 News.
There's been a huge spike in the number of Australian women freezing their eggs. Experts say the pandemic put career progression and dating on hold, forcing many to reconsider their plans. Cheaper and more reliable technology is helping drive the trend, but the freezing process still costs up to $6,000 plus a monthly fee. Despite their beauty, 2 rare pink Argyle diamonds failed to sparkle during an online auction last night. Bidding for each reached around $400,000, but they had been expected to go for a combined $1 million. Lloyd's Auctions says negotiations with potential buyers continue. A tacky tourism campaign is raising eyebrows, but the South Australian promotion may not be what it seems. That's ahead. Also, why airline workers say new cut-price flights won't save their jobs. And a mesmerising ice show. Herds of reindeer slowly circling for safety.
She's been the only star to win the Dancing Crown twice. Now, can Home and Away's Ada make history by winning it all again? The 2-week event, Dancing with the Stars All-Stars, after Easter on 7.
Made from 100% Colorbond steel right here at home, Good Neighbour Fencing is engineered for Australia, only by Stratco. You bring the dream, Stratco will bring the how-to.
Mawson Lakes Mazda is having a huge demo clearance across the entire Mazda range. There is no better time to take advantage of these amazing deals. Be quick, stocks won't last at these prices. Mawson Lakes Mazda, Salisbury Highway.
BritBox is here.
I'm sorry?
Yes, more streaming tellies.
I'm sorry.
But British.
Sorry.
It's the ultimate collection of British TV. No contract, no ads, no bother. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
Quit your way in May. Yeah, you can be smoke-free in so many ways. If the cravings kick in, give yoga a spin. When you start feeling low, give pickles a go. To get off the smokes, stick up some notes. Put the durries away for the month of May.
This May, join in and find your way to be smoke-free. To register and get helpful tips and support, visit quityourwayinmay.com.au.
Quit your way in May.
With Bendigo Bank's new Complete Home Loan, you'll get a completely awesome rate. Complete offset on fixed and variable loans, and a home loan specialist completely dedicated to you. So talk to Bendigo Bank, the better big bank.
Are you ready for Australia's biggest morning tea?
Every dollar you raise supports those impacted by cancer.
We're doing this for Mum.
Register today for your free host kit for Australia's biggest morning tea.
Busy kids have energy to burn. If you want to be sure they're getting the nutrients they need to grow and thrive, shake it up with Pediasure. A delicious Pediasure health shake contains 28 essential vitamins and minerals, plus protein, pre and probiotic and omega-3, which may help build immunity, support growth and a healthy appetite. Kids thrive with Pediasure. Also available in ready-to-drink bottles.
Get that holiday glow, even without the holiday. With new Olay Super Serums, it goes 10 layers deep into your skin to bring out an even glow from within. New Olay Super Serums with vitamin C.
A South Australian tourism campaign's raising eyebrows. The new ad showcases our state with aerial views of vineyards, breathtaking coastlines and a range of great food and wine, along with a very cheeky slogan.
Is it time to let our abundant delights burst in your mouth? It's time to go down south with your mouth.
The state government's distancing itself from the campaign, saying it has nothing to do with it. 800,000 cheap flights are up for grabs from today as part of a federal government program to boost the tourism industry. Qantas, Virgin and Jetstar are all offering discount tickets, but airline and airport workers say the end of JobKeeper means hundreds of them are losing work.
Just as Peter Costello once asked us to have a baby for Australia, we're asked to take a flight in Australia to kickstart our ravaged tourism industry.
To have that holiday at home, to do what we've said is the patriotic thing.
It's a good chance to see the rest of Australia, and if it's subsidised flights, then it's always a bonus.
The 800,000 half-price fares went live overnight across the major carriers. Among the deals, Jetstar $39 from Sydney to Ballina and $49 Sydney to Melbourne. Virgin as cheap as $55 Melbourne to Launceston, and Qantas Sydney Gold Coast for $77. Virgin reports bookings up 600% since midnight and more than 130,000 Qantas flights have been purchased. But the industry questions why only 18 destinations qualify for subsidies.
Cities like Sydney and Melbourne are the worst affected areas in the country, and they absolutely need to be on that list.
The federal government is also criticised for spending $1.2 billion on this stimulus package but terminating others.
Workers have just got letters from Virgin saying they're stood down. The Prime Minister's got a question to answer here. Why did he rip away JobKeeper from aviation workers?
Despite what appears to be a swift take-up of the offer, based on travellers we spoke with today, some will not embrace it immediately. With the volatility of border closures, they are unwilling to make a long-term bet.
We just thought we'd book at the last second and, just in case we don't want to lose money, we don't want to, end up stuck.
The cut price campaign closes July 31, flights to be taken between May and the end of September. Robert Ovadia, 7 News.
The home loan holiday is officially over. Banks are reintroducing credit reporting on loans which were deferred during the height of the pandemic. What it means for your financial future. Don't miss that story ahead in 7 News. In a rare appearance, the Queen has paid tribute to the sacrifice of Australian air crews over Europe as part of commemorations marking the centenary of the Royal Australian Air Force. After 3 months in lockdown, the Queen has now also had her second COVID jab.
The Queen's first engagement all year, and Australia is on her mind.
It's not a good day.
It's a lovely day.
It's a very windy spot.
The centenary of the RAAF, alongside Australia's High Commissioner, Her Majesty commemorated the skill and sacrifice of Australians in the sky, a wreath laid on behalf of the 94-year-old monarch.
The Queen receives tens of thousands of invitations to do functions, and the fact that she chose an Australian event is I think, a particularly significant compliment to Australia.
This memorial at Runnymede, just outside London, dedicated to the Commonwealth airmen who died during World War II. Among them, 1,400 Australians whose bodies were never recovered, mostly RAAF officers who flew with the Royal Air Force in bombing raids over Europe, attacking Nazi Germany and defending Britain.
We really have built our Air Force now on the shoulders of those who are memorialised on these walls.
Around 30 RAAF personnel are now based in Europe as the Queen discovered times have changed, new threats and new ways of responding.
And we talk to the Typhoons when they launch on full response and get them to intercept the aircraft.
In Central to chase the Russians.
That's correct. It's a lot of fun for us.
Australia's modern-day Air Force praised too by a former Royal Air Force chopper pilot.
In conflict and in peace, the Royal Australian Air Force has developed an outstanding reputation for resilience, innovation and dedication to duty.
In a written note, the Queen said the RAAF had showed immense dedication to duty throughout her reign. Her Majesty opened this memorial as a young Queen back in 1953. That dedication recognised a long way from home. In Runnymede, England, Hugh Whitfeld, 7 News.
A drone has captured a mesmerising natural phenomenon in the Arctic Circle. It's called a reindeer cyclone. The herd trots in a tightly packed circle, protecting the does and fawns in the middle from predators. These hypnotic pictures were taken on Russia's Kola Peninsula. Extraordinary stuff.
David Attenborough would love that, wouldn't he?
Fantastic. Great phenomenon. Now, sport, and there are 2 changes for the Crows for the Suns match tomorrow.
Yeah, Good Friday game. They brought in some reinforcements down back, so I'm going to be feeling pretty confident coming up against the Suns. And also coming up here, showdown rivalry has been put aside. We'll tell you why Matty Nix is throwing his weight behind the Powers Sandford whack. Port expected to make a couple of changes, with the veterans set to play in the Sandford tonight, and one of the Redbacks' all-time greats calls time on a fantastic career.
Nick, meet Daniel.
We are so different, but I like you. I like you.
He's full on. I love that about him.
I'm the king of the jungle.
You think you know my game? Think again.
Great combo. I'm the most driven guy, but the most laid-back guy in Australia.
That's intimidating.
Dad, Mum said you told me about the bees and the birds.
Did she? OK, well. Oh, look. They're here already. Gee, that was quick, wasn't it?
Ready 24/7 to get you back on the road. RAA.
At Terry White Chemmart, we're here to help this winter. That's why pharmacists like Bridget are trained to administer flu vaccinations right here in store. Book now. Walk-ins also available. Terry White Chemmart. Now that's real chemistry.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we believe that what you want is pretty straightforward. A service department that offers factory-trained mechanics, next-day servicing, complimentary pickup and delivery, wash and vacuum is standard, brake, wheel alignment and shock absorber testing included, complimentary loan cars, breakfast or lunch is on us, and access Wi-Fi while you're waiting. Go online to book your service today and experience the difference. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
You Install Kitchens. Farquhar quality from $3,000, fully customisable, pre-assembled and ready to install. Visit youinstallkitchens.com.au today. The complete DIY kitchen solution.
Getting a great discount on your electricity is a big deal. With Energy Australia's Total Plan, get 13% off your electricity reference price. Switch for a guaranteed total electricity bill discount on every bill, every time. That's off both your usage and supply charges. Join Energy Australia today.
Strong handwork here from Dusty. Now Munster. Stirs to the left. Oh, now the right. He annihilates those creases. Reads the wind beautifully. And Munster with the try. Irresistible stuff from the wooden spooner.
He always like this?
Taste the victory.
Yep.
Oh, Dusty. He's loving it. Dusty. Oh, what a day he's had. And we'll do it all again tomorrow.
This Sport Report brought to you by KO. Sport lives here.
Hello again. Well, Adelaide has received the backline boost ahead of tomorrow night's Suns clash. Now let's go live to Theo Doropoulos. And Theo, Matty Nix, he's made a couple of changes.
Yeah, he has. Soto, Jake Kelly and Luke Brown are the men to come back in. Now, Jake Kelly is over that nasty concussion, while Luke Brown's Achilles injury, lucky for him, has settled. They replace Nick Murray and Chase Jones, who have been dropped, while Dave McKay is battling back soreness. Two changes for the Suns. Jared Harbrow, the main inclusion there, while Sam Day and Connor Butterick are injured. Nick Holman has been dropped. Now, the showdown rivalry has been put aside. Matthew Nix has thrown his weight behind Port Adelaide. Now, that's as both clubs butt heads with the SANFL over its stance on AFL medical subs.
Well, that's why we're supportive of what Port Adelaide have come out with. For us, ultimately, we're about developing our players. And for a player to play 5 minutes of an AFL game but then not be able to get a game in for that particular weekend, it puts us on the back foot. It hinders the development of that player.
Darcy Fogarty will play in the SANFL tomorrow. Nick says he can play a role usually reserved for the competition's elite.
He's explosive, strong and dynamic around the footy, but then has the ability to go forward and score and hit the scoreboard. Dusty's he's the number one in the competition at the moment. Danger does a similar. Petraka will get his game to a level that hopefully, sooner rather than later, we're talking about that Fogarty role.
And it's understood former Port Adelaide fitness guru Darren Burgess will end up at West Lakes at the end of the season. Theo Doropoulos, 7 News.
Now to Port Adelaide, and they'll make at least two changes for Saturday's clash with the Eagles. Andrew Hayes joins us, and Hazy, a veteran will see some footy tonight.
So Tom Rockcliffe will play for the Magpies in the SANFL tonight at the Parade. That's after 2 weeks in the AFL as the medical sub, with limited minutes in the first game and no action at all last weekend. Kane Farrell didn't train today. He'll play tonight, as will Lockie Jones. So Connor Rozee looks ready to go. He's recovered from that foot issue, and Todd Marshall is available. Zach Butters was an interesting one today. He pulled up sore and was put through a fitness test, but he should be right to go. While for Port Adelaide, this weekend's Eagles clash will be the first real test of the season.
Looking ahead for the next sort of 6 or 7 weeks, there's plenty of big games coming up, so we'll definitely know where we're at after that.
The next few rounds will be tougher for Port. After the Eagles, they take on Richmond and a Security side that's capable of causing an upset.
If we want to be a good team consistently and for the long term, that we've got to look forward to these challenges, and I think that's where we're at as a group at the moment.
Port has kicked 52 goals across 2 games, which has them on top of the ladder, and you can expect the same sort of approach in Perth.
We've gone over with different tactics each year on how to beat them, and it'll be no different this year. We'll be trying to take the ball off them and play our brand of footy in offence.
And last night's CEO Matthew Richardson opened the doors to concerned residents about the proposed Alberton Oval revamp. Richardson took questions in a session that lasted over an hour and a half. And for his thoughts on how Port and the Crows can win this weekend's games, here's Scott Camporelli.
33-point win to the Sydney Swans.
Looking forward to Friday night against Gold Coast, there's a few things that Adelaide need to address. The thing that hurt Adelaide the most on the weekend was their inability to stop Sydney on transition. Like Sydney, Gold Coast like to control the game with uncontested mark chains. One of the keys to Adelaide winning this week is their ability to be able to close space really quickly and stop those uncontested mark chains. My second key point is Adelaide's clearance work. Adelaide now is the #1 ranked team for score from stoppage differential. It's allowed Adelaide to get great field position and inside forward 50 entries, and that's going to be critical against Gold Coast this week.
Siren sounds though. It's the bigger picture for Port Adelaide, and they are laden with talent.
Looking forward to the Power Eagles game this week. It's a real battle of the blue chip midfields between Wines, Boak and Butters and Sheed, Kelly and Gaff. One of my keys this week is definitely the ruck battle. Can the two-prong attack of Laddams and Lysette put Nick Naitanui away? One of the Eagles' biggest strengths is their ability to intercept mark. What Port Adelaide need to do is really lower their eyes as they go inside forward 50 to their targets in Dixon and Georgiades. By doing this will take guys like McGovern, Hearn and Barrass out of the picture. This is the Power's biggest challenge since the prelim final.
Yeah, good on you, Campo. Now, in the early game tomorrow, the Bulldogs will welcome back former skipper Easton Wood, while Ben Cunnington makes his return for the Roos. And 4 Crows have been named in the AFLW All-Australian squad of 40. Sarah Ellen and Hatchard, Eb Marinoff and Erin Phillips. Congratulations, girls. Well deserved. Now, it's opening night of the SANFL season with traditional rivals Norwood and Port Adelaide facing off. Seven's John Casey's at the Parade.
Soda, 655 days since Norwood and Port Adelaide last clashed in the SAMFL. I doubt anyone's heart has grown fonder between these arch enemies during that time. Redlegs have got a new coach this year, and Jade Rawlings. It's 30 degrees here at the parade at the moment. The boys are going to earn their money tonight.
Yeah, it sure will, Case. It's fantastic, the little burst of summer that we've still got going to April, but yeah, you can feel the vibe already with our supporters starting to come through the gates, and the parade's a good place to be.
You've arrived at a good time here at the parade. Brand new facilities for the players. I'm sure they're enjoying those.
Yeah, they sure have, and I think when you're a playing group, when you know that the club's done everything they can to support you and your endeavours to be the best you can be, it comes at a good time to be able to launch a season when we're so well resourced off field.
And of course, Soda, well, the fans here are well catered for as well. We've got a $12 million Wolf Blast Centre behind us that is going to be used here for the first time tonight. And really looking forward to Channel 7's Round 1 clash. It is the game between the Eagles and Sturt, and that's coming your way tomorrow at 2:30.
Yeah, good on your, Case. Can't wait for SANFL footy to be back on TV. Now, finally tonight, Redbacks bowler Chad Sayers has called time on his first-class career after 10 years at the top level. Now, he'll finish as South Australia's third highest wicket taker ever.
Not many people thought I'd even play one Shield game. So to be leaving the game with 85 first-class games, a dozen one-day games, and to have played for my country is something I'm very proud of.
Yeah, congratulations. His last match is this weekend in a Shield match against Victoria, so he could, just clean up a bunch of Vicks to go out on a good note.
It'd be nice for him if he could, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Now, Jane, tonight, Brisbane Collingwood from Marvel Stadium. Only the third time ever these clubs would have played at that ground against each other.
Wow. So that will be a good match.
Absolutely.
Something to sit back and get into your Easter eggs with. No, you can't have them till Sunday.
Yes, you
now,
can.
with a
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes,
No,
you can.
can't. No, you can't. A check of the day in finance. Here's Gemma Acton.
Thank you. The ASX 200 won't reopen until Tuesday, so Aussie shares use their last session until then to race to a 6-week high. The index closing at 6,828 points. AMP shareholders reacted positively to news that Chief Executive Francesco De Ferrari will be leaving the beleaguered wealth manager. He'll be replaced by ANZ Deputy CEO Alexis George. The Aussie dollar has taken a sudden leg lower, as has the struggling gold price. And during the pandemic, fund managers put more of our super money into Australian shares. But looking longer term, our super portfolios have become increasingly international.
With banks reintroducing credit reporting on loans deferred during the pandemic, the home loan holiday's officially over. What that means for you next.
And weather-wise, warm and sunny this Easter long weekend, but will we hold into the fine conditions next week? Well, I'll have the details up next, plus tonight's ray of sunshine, the big announcements today that might have given you a big laugh.
Everything has led to this moment. The do-or-die eliminations. Magpies, Roos,
Stands the test of time.
Demons, Darkers. Only 2 teams will survive.
Enormous!
The AFLW Finals, Saturday on 7 and 7+.
Whether you drive or DIY this Easter, Repco has everything you need, with 20% off spare parts and 25% off all UHF radios and accessories. Hurry, this Saturday only. Repco. It starts with the parts.
This is a game of chess. I got more pieces in position. It's time to take all of them back.
Open up my window again.
Bumpy has turned into a liability. I'm willing to fight tooth and nail for every inch of Harlem.
New world is here, my brothers.
The brand new season of Godfather of Harlem premieres April 20 only on Stan.
Prime Liquidated long weekend sale this Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday. New stock has just arrived. We've ordered too much and everything is massively reduced to clear. Barley huts from a crazy $695. Daybeds all reduced. Solid teak furniture, amazing prices. Bamboo settings from $495. Statues and water features all reduced. Knickknacks from just $5. It's all reduced. Don't miss out. Prime Liquidators long weekend sale. This long weekend only.
For me, the intensity starts early and keeps building. It can be full on. The heat, the orders, the pressure from the boss. For tough pain relief, my go-to is Panadol Extra. Because if I don't, with my migraine headaches, I'm kind of useless in the kitchen. And I don't want to let the crew down.
Service?
I really love these guys. And it's good to know you can still help out the people who need you. Together, let's rethink care.
Getting a great discount on your electricity is a big deal. With Energy Australia's Total Plan, get 13% off your electricity reference price. Switch for a guaranteed total electricity bill discount on every bill, every time. That's off both your usage and supply charges. Join Energy Australia today.
Weekend starts with everything on the line. Lions and Magpies in a battle to stay on track. Thursday night footy on 7.
The home loan holiday is officially over, with banks reintroducing credit penalties on loans deferred during the height of the pandemic.
Before the pandemic, corporate masseuse Alex Carpenter provided relaxation for office workers. With JobKeeper over and business slow to return, now she's the one feeling the squeeze.
I'm very anxious all the time, you know, like I'm always thinking, have I got enough work? How can I get some more work?
And the financial hits keep coming, with home loan deferrals now drying up. From today, the credit amnesty is over.
If you miss a repayment from this point on and you're not on a hardship agreement with your bank, you could see your credit score negatively impacted.
At the program's peak in May last year, 1/10 of loans had been temporarily deferred. By the end of February this year, less than 1% was still on ice. For the remaining few,
banks can still help you if you call and ask for help.
But make sure you call before you miss a payment.
From July this year, banks will shift focus to comprehensive credit reporting, which was delayed during the pandemic.
That means all of your borrowing and payments behaviour, both good and bad, will be considered by credit reporting agencies.
If you miss a repayment, it could end up on your credit file, but the more that you meet your repayments, it will help improve your credit file.
Gemma Acton, 7 News.
Time for the weather now. Amelia's at the market tonight. How's it looking, Mills?
Oh, Jane, the market's just about to close here ahead of Good Friday, with traders expecting more people again on Saturday, stocking up on Easter treats. Weather-wise, well, today's a bit of a treat too. Plenty of sunshine. We hit a top of 32.3 degrees. Right now, it's 29 in the city, still warm. Statewide, temperatures were generally around or above average for this time of year, ranging from 35 at Nullarbor to 23.8 at Neptune Island after a dry day. We've got a high-pressure system over Victoria to thank for that. It'll head east, making room for a low pressure trough to deliver a slight change by Sunday. Now, as that trough approaches, expect temperatures to rise a fraction, and that's expected to bump up the fire danger in some parts. At this stage, the lower southeast will likely see total fire bans on Saturday. Interstate tomorrow, a sunny day in Melbourne, up to 29, 26 in Sydney and in Brisbane, where a shower's possible. Back home, we've got another dry day ahead tomorrow. 33 is the top for Coober Pedy, Roxby Downs, Moomba and Murray, up to 35 in Port Augusta and Murray Bridge. 31 for Port Lincoln and Victor Harbour, up to 32 in Kadina. 30 is the top for Kingscote. 33 for Whyalla, Clare, Nuriutpa, Renmark and even Mount Gambier. In the city, down to 18 degrees overnight, then more sunshine's on the way. 33 is the top for Good Friday. On metro waters, southeast to nor'easterlies below 10 knots, tending north to nor'westerly later, south to sou'westerly in the afternoon with seas below half a metre. And to fishing, 6 months after being damaged by a ferry, the Cape Jarvis jetty reopened to the public today, just in time for the long weekend. Looking ahead, 32 is the top for Saturday. Dry Sunday for the Easter egg hunt, then up to 28, 26 Easter Monday, and we'll hold on to those dry conditions next week. Now, before I go, let's take a look at tonight's ray of sunshine. There have been some interesting announcements today on April 1st. SA Police have declared a new highly specialised dog squad where sausage dogs are deployed to sniff out narrow and hard-to-reach spaces where traditionally used German Shepherds are too big to fit.
We're also going to be able to attach them to drones, which is, that's really a game changer for us. They're going to be able to be tactically deployed from that, drop down into people's yards and things like that. We're really excited about it and we think it's going to be an absolute game changer.
Meanwhile, the CFS says it's adopted an official tartan with a kilt, now available to be worn as part of the uniform. Other Scottish accessories are optional, and fruit and veg shop Tony and Mark's is expanding. When their fleet isn't in use for produce deliveries, you can use them in your wedding. Now, Jane, apparently they can fit 4 inside, 3 in the tray, so certainly a very practical way to get the bridal party to the wedding, and interesting timing for that announcement too, don't you think?
I think so, and I love the Ducks and getting into tight spots. Well, that's all the news for now. Let's go straight to the Collingwood-Brisbane clash at Marvel Stadium. From all of us here in the 7 Newsroom, good night.
To watch home